Greetings, loyal minions, beautiful humans. Welcome to the SciShow, the #1 ranked YouTube channel for Christmas carolers. If you're a caroler, I appreciate you. Also, for people who enjoy Raffaellos, they are delicious. Anything with a gooey center that you can just stick your tongue in and try to get all that gooiness out. Just I'm a sucker for it. Also, just had some Christmas carolers walking past, so that was very enjoyable to a degree. Enough of that. Ellory is the new Insanity hero. As always, let's take a look at the portal. 1.4% chance for legendary, 0.5% chance for event, and 0.6% for featured hero. Yeah. Not a huge fan of Emily. Demilar's okay. Obviously, anyone who's used Insanity knows they are a bit more difficult, I feel, to pair into teams. So keep that in mind. I find stacking them together, but not putting them in a team of 3 or 4 because you might as well just put hitters in that don't have Insanity, unless they do something extra special that you can protect yourself. Anyway, we have a sorcerer which gives a delayed chance to drop mana generation of the target. Pretty handy. It's one of those things you don't notice sometimes until you think a hero should be charged, and then you realize that they've had that delay put on them. So not too bad. Ailment immunity for 6 turns. That's pretty handy with so many ailment dealers out there. That power has crept up a couple. We are the Institute family. So these ones for 1, 2, 3 heroes get 5, 9, 13% mana generation. 20, 30, 40% health. So that mana generation, if you compare a few of them together, could be really, really handy in getting your heroes charged quicker, depending on all the different permutations of troops and other heroes like bards that increase mana, those sort of things. Pretty average on the artwork, I think. Got the lighthouse in the back, which, that's nice for Lighthouse of the Lost, which for anyone who doesn't know is my alliance. I am recruiting. Hit me up for details. I might even throw a little jingle at the end of this video. We'll see what I can come up with. Have the passive of Eldritch Pact. If defeated, the character has a chance to be reborn as Eldritch Host. It's 5% chance per 10 insanity, up to a maximum of 50. If the character defeats themselves when activating Insanity, the chance is always 50%, regardless of the Insanity. The Eldritch Host has 100% inherited health, 1000 attack, 1000 defense, and special skill of Eldritch Blight. So it's a handy little thing. I mean, it's not something you want to be trying to rely on, though. You can't control it, and it's a bit random. So, I mean, I had the discussion the other day, just around there's so many heroes in the game now. And when you get a hero, and I think Ellory is one of those heroes where it looks like fun. The problem is you then have to basically build a whole team around that hero. And some people find that enjoyable. I do to a degree, but it's sort of getting to the point where it's like, well, if you don't have the niche heroes to pair it with, then it's almost like it's just not as easy as using a normal team. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it at the moment. With so many heroes, it's like, yep, great, I've got this hero, but I'm building a specific team just to make it useful, if that makes sense. Anyway, onto the stats. Pretty good all around, pretty high attack. Mutated Specimen is the special skill, running at average speed. Growth. The caster and nearby allies get 400 attack. That's pretty handy. Nice. Growth is just always good, especially against those heroes like Magus. The cat at the moment is really annoying as he drops, he gives you Wither. If you don't have a Garrison Guard to control that or anyone else, that can be a pain. So giving yourself growth is quite good. It's also really handy against the cats. This one is only attack. So if you can get that growth, it gives you the defense as well against the Wildcats. It just means the longer the battle goes, the more they keep reviving. You can sort of just, take their hits and not really care too much. All right, on top of the growth, summons an Aberration Mega Minion with 40% HP and 170% attack, inherited from the caster. Each hit from a Mega Minion gives a target the following status ailments. The target receives 489 toxin damage over 3 turns. That jumps up to 690. So you're looking about, 250-ish, depending on then your troops and that sort of thing. 250 to 400 per turn, maybe. Damage is increased against targets with boosted health, minions, or a mega minion. Inflicts 10 insanity on the target and inflicts 50 insanity on the caster. I don't like this hero at all. So I should just stop the video and say, no, don't try and get it. I just don't think it's doing enough. Average speed, you get the growth, that's good. It gives your nearby allies a bit of extra attack. You kind of want to put it in a Mega Minion team, but most of the Mega Minions are getting a little bit older now. Mega Minion heroes. You've got the jellies, the slime family, who do make those Mega Minions stronger, but it's only 40% HP, which to me isn't going to survive long enough. There's so many heroes out there now that either lower the minions' HP or weaken them in some way. I just don't think 40 HP is enough, because you're probably only going to get, if that minion, I mean, I know in certain circumstances it can stay alive and get hits, but even with a couple of slash attacks, that Mega Minion is probably not going to last that long. You might get 2 or 3 hits in. The Toxin is nice, but you're only getting 20 or 30 insanity. You're putting 50 on yourself. It then becomes such a risk to cast again, especially considering you're giving the growth. So if you cast again and go insane, you're giving the enemy growth. And it's just not doing enough, I don't believe. It's only 170% attack with the Mega Minion as well, which isn't huge. And 40% HP. I just don't think it's enough. I don't think that's going to do. You do have the boost, like the growth, which will give your Mega Minion a bit more attack power. But yeah, I just don't think that's worthwhile to sit there and hit with a few toxins. I think I'm going to start getting a little more critical on heroes, just because there are so many out there. I don't like saying every new hero is good. I don't want people to think, oh, that's a good hero, I'm going to go and get it, when there are so many other heroes that you've got that are probably going to do just as well. I really just don't think this hero is doing enough. You can only get one Mega Minion. Some of the older Insanity heroes, you give everyone a minion, and that minion's doing 5 or 10 Insanity. So you're instantly getting 5 hits with that straight up. And you've got to have 5 different heroes get hit to have them killed. This is just one. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Let me know if you think I've missed anything. Let me know if you think it is good for any reason. I'm just not seeing it. I mean, the growth is good. It is the only 3. It's a lot of growth though with 400. So if you can somehow keep Ellory alive, and I know the Mega Minion does that a little bit, so maybe that's the way you use him. Pair him up with like a couple of Archibalds, or an Archibald and Pip, or anything like that, where you're giving the growth and giving your heroes then time to do more damage, and getting the Mega Minions up, even, Arm and Muncharmin. But again, these Mega Minion heroes are getting a little bit older now, so you might be sacrificing something to make that team. Yeah, it's nice to have variety. If you don't have a stacked roster, then, this is where, again, it gets hard to talk about the heroes. I think if you are regularly pulling, you'll probably have enough good green heroes that this person, I don't know why I called it a person, this hero's not going to increase your overall teams, if that makes sense. So that's Ellory. Not a huge fan. We'll have a look. There was a couple of new heroes out as well. I think there was a 4-star Ryleh. Ryleh, Wizard, same family. This one has the damage, normal attacks, and special skills dealt by the character increased by 5% per 10 insanity. I've said it a lot lately. I think 4-star heroes are really only useful for tournaments, events, and that's it. So for the events, you want to be hitting 3. Tournaments, you want something really strong. What have we got? Binding Contract. Average speed, deals 400% damage to the target and inflicts 30 insanity on them. The target gets soulbound for 3 turns. This effect can't be cleansed. All damage received by the caster is also dealt to soulbound enemies. Inflicts 55 insanity on the caster. Not a huge fan of that. It's a nice initial hit, so if you're pairing it with some purples in tournament, the tournaments more so than the events, you are getting a good hit. Like 400% for a 4-star is quite chunky. So that's a good way of, you might hit with a Tiburtus, one of his costumes, defense down, and you might be able to follow up with a hit from Ryleh to get the kill, but then the soulbound kind of gets wasted. I don't like the soulbound. I'd rather a mechanic similar to Torben, where the enemy you hit then shares all the damage or takes extra damage from its teammates. This one, you're basically hitting and then hoping that you're taking damage yourself. I don't think that's a useful skill. So, not overly sold on Ryleh either. Let's have a look at the 3-star. Well, this one looks a bit cooler, Jax. What about Ryleh? Yeah, just a bit average. Jax looks pretty cool. This one is Forsaken Family, so we get extra critical chance and health. Not a huge advantage in anything. No passive. Very fast, though, for a 3-star. That's unusual. Deals 175% damage to the enemies on the edges of the formation and inflicts 15 insanity on them. If there is only one enemy, the damage and insanity are doubled, and 35% insanity on the caster. So, look, again, I don't think it's hugely useful. You're only hitting the edges. Might be useful in tournaments. Being new, you're going to have pretty good stats. Hitting the ones on the edge, you're not giving a heap of insanity, being very fast. So if you could pair with a healer that's going to heal it pretty quickly, because it's only giving 35 insanity to itself, which isn't too bad. Drop that down with a heal to 25%, and you're probably safe to try and fire again. But being 3-star, the tiles are slightly different because you can generally not having those upper level troops on. So Jack's not overly great either, I don't think. This portal is starting to get a little bit disappointing. I feel the most recent heroes have been quite average, a little boring, and considering how difficult it is to use the Insanity heroes, a lot of people I know just kind of don't use them because they don't really understand exactly how they work or how to make the most of them. So I feel the most recent ones have been a little bit underwhelming and too hard to build a team around. So all those small giant developers who are out there watching, I know you watch every episode. They especially like seeing Eldrin in his tight little undies. I'm not saying anything about the small giant crew, but that's what I've heard, that they love the Eldrin episodes. But yeah, if you're listening, start making these Insanity heroes a little bit more user-friendly. We don't want heroes that you have to plan 6 months around building a team, getting out the spreadsheet and analyzing things and finding the 3 specific heroes that can make them do what they should be doing, if that makes sense. Some of the slow heroes are similar, but yeah, that's my thoughts on Insanity. I think they're getting a little bit less usable, so we need to do something to make them a little more attractive. Look, I'll do one summon because I'm there. Didn't think that was going to do anything good. Stay tuned for a jingle if I happen to make one. If I don't, then I apologize and the video will just end. But I think that's all I needed to mention. If you are doing any summons, best of luck to you. I hope you get the hero you're looking for. If you enjoy what I'm doing, remember to gently caress the subscribe button. Give your kitty a scritch for me. Have a bloody good one. A lot of people have been commenting on some of the animations, so before I get to the jingle, just thought I'd throw in one of the blooper animations. Sometimes it's just very, very hard to get you one. Sometimes I don't know what my head is thinking and what I'm actually trying to get. But this one was kind of interesting, so enjoy this. Enjoy the jingle.
Eat me, sigh, eat me.
We're the crew that it's hard, never taking a loss. No babies, no drama, no clingy energy. If you need hand holding, yeah, this ain't the place to be. 14-star titans, we slap them before they roll like whack-a-moles, popping up, we're begging for more. 16's on the horizon, and baby, we love going beyond the horizon. Whoa! lighthouse is only for the chosen few. Follow the light. In the lighthouse crew, yeah, we like it tight. Good hits, good jokes, come take a bite. When titans pop up, we're already halfway there, swinging like maniacs, but with teamwork and flair. Whoa!